going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It has been, actually this time for real, quite some time. I've not had this car for quite some time. Went through a lot of issues with it, and it's been like a crazy, like probably 3 months, I want to say. Just wanted to do a little bit of a story time on what happened with this thing from, I want to say, like mid-May all the way up until July, end of July basically. And it's pretty crazy, and hopefully you guys can take something out of this video on if you own a new Edge. This might be helpful information for you guys. But I was having this problem with my car where when I turn the wheel completely to the left, it would, this wheel right here was rubbing on the sway bar, and I had a Steeda sway bar on this up front, and it wasn't actually the tire rubbing on it, it was the rim, and that's a problem. If it was the tire, it's not that big of a deal to me, but the rim, probably should take a look at it. And I feel really stupid for not putting the stock sway bar back on first, because that was the problem. The sway bar must have shifted and unaligned itself sometime while I was driving, and it's crazy to say, like, I feel such a huge difference on the stock sway bar. That's what's back on the car now. You can't see it obviously, but like, it made a huge difference in how this car handles, and I'd honestly prefer having the Steeda one in, but it was causing problems, and I don't want to have to deal with that again if it becomes a problem. But yeah, that solved my problem right away. But what I did try first was replacing the lower control arms. The bushings on those lower arms were very, very bad, and it was a good thing I replaced it on both sides. But the problem was the bolts up front were seized on both sides, so that ultimately meant we were cutting them out. So we had to cut them out on both sides, and dealership wanted $200 for 4 bolts, 4 lower control arm bolts, 200 Canadian dollars, 50 bucks a piece. Nobody nearby had any in stock, so it'd be special order. And then I actually was going down to Florida for vacation, and the Mustang parts reaper hooked me up with two of them, which was more than what I needed, because I ended up buying one at a Ford dealership in Buffalo. That was about 40 bucks, because I thought, you know what, maybe I'll get lucky and the other side wouldn't be a problem. But it was, unfortunately. So we had to cut it out on both sides, which was terrible. And at some point we thought it might have been a good idea to use a torch to free up that bolt, and that led to the steering rack boot on the passenger side catching fire briefly, and then it was leaking power steering fluid. And this is when the story gets pretty crazy. So just for some control arms, we ended up needing a brand new power steering rack. So I brought it to a shop, and they put it on, and then they couldn't get the car to bleed, and then they thought the power steering rack was defective because it had no power steering under 2,000 RPM. And then they told me try another power steering pump. So I ordered one off Rock Auto, and they put it on, still nothing. Then they ordered one, nothing. Got theirs warranted, nothing. Got fed up, they were telling me they couldn't bleed the car, and there was debris coming out of the power steering lines when they were bleeding it, which makes no sense to me. So what happened was they ended up sending it to Ford, and they just didn't know what to do with the car. And then Ford had it, they took out the reservoir, put it through their parts washer, did all sorts of things to it. They bled the system twice to begin with, and then nothing was working. They took out the power steering pump that was in this car, and then they noticed that there's a valve inside of them that was getting stuck, and that was the problem. And that valve wasn't providing enough pressure for the power steering on this car, and that's why I had nothing under 2,000 RPM, and it's pretty hard to drive like that, and the brake assist or whatever wasn't working at all. So this thing was not fun to drive. So then they gave me the car back, drove it for about 3 days, not even, and it failed again, and then they took the car back and ended up putting a used OEM one, and now we're back. So it's been good so far. Months ago I was gonna make a video right before all this crap happened, but if you guys didn't notice, look, I got my windows tinted. You can see me right there, and this is 15% tint on the side windows and the back window, so I think it came out pretty good. Like I said, the car's filthy, but honestly that really delayed my plans for this thing for this year. I had so much planned. I was planning on getting that fixed in May, properly, by the way, and I actually had a new front bumper for this car because this one looks like crap, and the end goal was to wrap it because, well, I also really hate this on the front bumper. That's a different story though. But yeah, so as it sits now, it's been driving okay, and I have no complaints so far. And the best part was that other shop that I took my car to install the power steering rack covered the cost of everything. So basically all I had to do was pay them to install the power steering rack, and they charged me 325 bucks Canadian dollars, which isn't too bad considering they attempted to bleed the car like 20 times, and they put so many hours into it, and then Ford ended up fixing the car. So I think I kind of lucked out and got my money's worth, because I got the new power steering pump for free. Well, new. So yeah, it's feeling good. I like the tint. It's nice and dark, especially when it's like dark out. You can't really see into it even during the day, as long as the sun's not shining straight through it. It's pretty good. This is what it looks like, 15%. I kind of was wishing that I went a little bit darker, but this feels right. So yeah, I'm hoping I can get more videos out on the way, because I know you guys like to hear this car. I'll start it up. We'll end off this video with some idling, I guess. You guys can listen to the little comp cams. Guy that pulled in this parking lot while I was recording this, and he had his windows down, and then the second I started revving, he put them up. Anyways, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, listening to me rant what was going on with this car. It was kind of crazy, but honestly I wasn't really stressed about it because it wasn't really my problem. So yeah, make sure to leave a like, comment, and a subscription. I will see you guys all next time.